and burn.
Hey everybody! So tonight I would like to discuss, Jesus Christ, I didn't write down when it came out, which means I'm completely lost. This movie could have been released whenever. I'm going to take a guess and say I'm going to discuss 1988's FX, starring Bryan Brown and Brian Dennehy. I have loved this movie since I was a kid. I saw this way back. My parents rented it when it was current. I watched it that weekend, and it was amazing. Jerry Orbach's in this. He plays a gangster that Bryan Brown's character, Raleigh, is... Raleigh, of course, is an effects master in Hollywood. He is hired by the CIA to pretend to take out Jerry Orbach's character, the gangster, so that he can die, so that he can pretty much slide into the witness relocation program or whatever, so that he can testify against his fellow gangsters. Except, of course, everything goes wrong, and they have to kill Raleigh for pretending to kill Jerry Orbach, and this wicked game of cat and mouse jumps off, and the movie begins. Brian Dennehy comes into it a little later than I would have liked, because I love Brian Dennehy. But he comes into it a little late. He plays the detective that is tasked with sort of taking Raleigh down for, you know, he's in the middle of the mess with Raleigh. He believes Raleigh's the bad guy, but then before long, they put together that it's actually the CIA dudes that are in the wrong. And Brian Dennehy and Bryan Brown's chemistry, I don't even know what to say. Like Leo and Raleigh together are like movie magic. And I mean, I've loved Brian Dennehy since I was a kid. I saw him in the episode of Miami Vice he did, where he played the televangelist. And then, obviously, Peter Greenaway's The Belly of an Architect. That was a huge part of my, like, high school cinema diet. And Brian Dennehy, of course, was the lead in that next to Chloe Webb. And I just love how him and Bryan Brown genuinely seem like friends. I find that is so cool. And I buy their relationship completely. What else did I want to talk about here? I also liked, too, how FX uses, like, intelligence and wit in order for its characters to sort of solve their problems. They don't just sort of lend themselves out quickly to the easy violence. No, Leo and Raleigh and everybody else in this, they're always thinking, and they're always sort of figuring out their next move with a sense of like sly intelligence. Like I said, this movie is not blunt. This movie is smart, and this movie is methodical, and it's so well thought out, and it's so well paced. There's more under the hood to this movie than your average sort of late 1980s sort of action mystery thriller. This movie just has more under the hood, and you can feel that pretty much from the jump, concerning the photography, the direction, the acting, the story. How even though technically the story is simple, there's so many twists and turns, and there's so much character development that this movie feels bigger than it actually turns out to be. This movie it's not a 3-hour sort of epic where you have to get lost and you have to, oh shit, I gotta write that down so I can follow that part of it, and oh Jesus, it turns into this War and Peace thing where there's like 30 characters. No, it's not that complicated. Like I said, the story seems simple, but before long you find yourself completely enraptured by it all. Like, I'm just lost, and I love the cloak and dagger aspects of this, like that sort of governmental cat and mouse sort of trench coats and makeup, and I don't know, it's an incredibly fun movie. And I thought killing Raleigh's girlfriend was completely uncalled for. I thought that was just cruel, much like I thought them killing Velez in the second one was completely cruel and uncalled for too. But yeah, they kill Raleigh's girlfriend in this, of course, when they're attempting to kill him. Let's see, what else did I want to discuss? Okay, no, actually, that is it. Other than, oh my God, the score. I don't know, the score is just too classically percussive. Like, this would be better in like a Star Wars film or some shit. I find the score for FX2 complemented that film using more like a basic sort of 1980s, more electronic synth-based score. Fit that movie just as well as I imagine it would have fit this movie. Because this classical score, especially during the chase scene, when they're stealing him and the chick that works for him, Raleigh and the chick that works for him, are stealing back their effects van from the police impound. The score is just all wrong. It just doesn't fit at all. The end credit track, Illusion, is absolutely brilliant too. But anyways, look, that's where I'm going to leave it. So thank you so much for hanging out with me for 5.5 minutes while I discussed, I think, the 1988 film, FX. Like always, if you like this review, don't forget to do something nice for somebody. But most importantly, please don't forget that the world is actually a better place because you are in it. Like always, I'm getting out of here. Have a good night.